All right, so let me show you something real quick with our shower, okay? We've already got the hydrated backer board down as our base. We are getting ready to put our custom float in. Two different pitches, two different pads. We've got a rubber base, of course, from Oakley. It's a mat. We're going to go right to the center. We've got our two-piece drain already in place. What I want to tell you, great idea when you do the sluter. Use clamps to hold that guy in place. Because what happens over time after that was thin setted and it's in here drying, you're actually still in here working, that sluter starts to walk on you. If you clamp all that tight together, it is a just solid curve. And remember, how many of you all are just going with the flow of the floor? You got to check that on the framework side about the whole levelness. Now, let's move on real quick. I want to show you something. We are getting ready to grout this pretty shower. I want to show you why we use this right here. Okay, stain proof, color perfect, custom blend. Couple of reasons why. We do not buy anything out of the store that has to be hand mixed with ratios, with water, with this, with that. Here is why. This right here. Do you see this white film? This right here is underneath of that. There's our color. This is properly machine fed mixed to perfection, to the spec, every single time. It has our stain blocker. It is the most advanced technology in grout on the planet. And it already has the sealer built right in, which makes it super cool. We do not have to take the extra step. Anytime you get grout out of a bag, a box, anything like that, and you yourself are mixing all those items and you're putting a sealer in, you ever run out of that first batch, I promise you, the rest of your grout on batch number 2 to the spec is not going to equal batch number 1. I promise you. If your human hand mixed that up, batch number 2 is not identical, which is the number 1 cause in failing with grout over time, especially in Brandenburg and places like that that carry hard water naturally. It breaks it down because it was not to the spec, to the science. So that is why we purchase $50 a tub grout for these showers. We don't want any problems down the road. Now I want to show you something with this bed mortar, okay? I want you to see how dry. Look how dry that is, okay? There's a reason for that. If you have this too wet, you are going to spider and crack everywhere. You have to take almost like a mist bottle and mix up this bed mortar. You want it to get damp over time. You do not want it to get saturated. See, here's the difference. A lot of people's bed mortar is too soupy. Look, just like concrete. Okay? These little imperfections right here, these are going to come out. I don't have enough bed mortar in right here. I'm starting my pitch towards the drain. Just like concrete, we're going to smooth this right out. So we'll show you what's going on. Very crucial with these bed mortars. Hey, just for the record, I just want you to know there's a lot of people out here that do mortar beds. A lot of people. Doesn't mean they're done correctly. Just so you know, there is a huge difference. This is not concrete. This is not a concrete finish. This is a mortar bed. It is crucial to read the instructions upon what you are trying to achieve. For instance, I want to show you the mortar bed we use and why I'm telling you this. Check this out. Do you see that right there? Okay. How many mortar beds you ever seen that have lines everywhere? Everywhere. We use one tool. Uno. This guy right here, rounded corners and all. One. That's all it takes to do this. it is just like a concrete finish. You do go back and forth to get this smooth effect. My point is, quit using all the concrete tools, 500 of them. You don't need them. This is it right here. We're going to finish the rest of this mortar bed. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. If you get this too wet, it will not work correctly. If you get it too dry, it will not work correctly. That is the trick, the dampness. All right, so look, this is what I want to show you. I have pulled all this down. We're going ahead and we're making like a slope, if you will. I know it looks horrible. Trust me. I want you to see how I get this. I don't want to just have it done and then you're sitting here wondering how I did it. So I'm bringing all this out, making it smooth that way. Now watch. You see what I'm doing there? Getting all this to control. See, that tells me where I'm not level. I'm going to leave that alone a minute because I'm going to shrink down and grab that little guy. Then you come back and you work this side the same. So you're basically just combing it. If you got a high spot, look, just like you would in concrete. I can feel it right there. I'm working that area to the back. It's absolutely free, so get it now. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play. 1077eagle.com. Go there to get more information about what's going on. Now you can buy tickets if you don't wish. Hey, St. Patrick's Day, brothers and sisters. It's my weekend. We're doing the Throwback Thursday today, starting at 7 o'clock. So while you're guzzling down pints of green beer, I'll be talking about what was happening back. Give me just a second here. We're going to get all this combed out. A little bit of a high spot right there. I'm combing that out. Then I'm going to get that to shrink over to the middle. If it's still high, work it back and forth. Work it the way you need it. You can fix those ripples every time. You're gonna sweat, believe me. We got it 75 degrees in this house because of this epoxy. So we are hot. Now, you have a tiny little imperfection. It is not gonna matter. Keep in mind, this is only the first pitch. Only the first one. Look at that. That is how a floor should look. Now I'm going to take a smaller one and I'm going to get up here around the drain. I'm going to clean this up. Promise you. It's hard work. We'll be right back. All right, so look, here we are. It's done. That is how you know your mortar bed is on point. There ain't no lines in it. There ain't no air pockets in it. Around that drain is completely level with the drain, and if you notice, everything is already pitched. going up ever so slightly. So that just makes my next pitch with the mat, it just makes that slope so much easier to achieve. If your mortar bed does not look like this after you pour it, you have done something wrong, no doubt.